We got many interesting news from the audio world this week. We saw Sonus Faber just presented the new Homage series. With this new 5th generation that is equipped with a new mid-woofer that reduces resonance and delivers nuanced acoustic details. New crossover technology for a lower noise floor and a new woofer that has been enhanced with a new voice coil and spider material that create greater air movement and bass extensions. Now available with this new graphite finish that is really interesting, it looks really beautiful, I like it. But I still prefer my white Serafino. Anyway, we are not here to speak about Sonus Faber, but we are going to speak about Musical Fidelity and Triangle speaker. And Musical Fidelity just announced the new Nu-Vista PRE amplifier, power amplifier mono and stereo. And something really interesting is that every component will have its own power supply, the PSU, to achieve a better noise performance and isolations. I don't need to go too deep, I just wrote an article about it, you will find it on my website themedaudio.com, link in description. This project was the dream of Antony Michaelson, Musical Fidelity founder. It is now owned by Mr. Heinz Lichtenegger of Project Audio. As we know, Antony Michaelson was actually a musician, he played, if I'm not wrong, in an orchestra clarinet. And his dream was to have just the best performance with a sense of warm musicality and a real dynamic able to reproduce a big orchestra. I received a lot of comments that the retail price are pretty high. Let me know what you think about it. Yes, they are, but I have to say that they spend a lot of money behind researching and developing such a high-end quality amplifier. But Musical Fidelity is a brand that is offer also highly affordable gears like the M2 SE. We review it, you will find it in descriptions. Beautiful amplifier with a pre-amplifications in class A that will just, I think, in this price range, destroy any amplifier. So they have the M2, here on the back we can find also the M3 that I'm testing it, review coming soon. They have the M5, M6, so they have amplifier for any pocket. But it's interesting to see what the high-end technology can achieve, and the answer is the Nu-Vista. I think they will release soon also the integrated amplifier, the 800.2, and the first time I saw it was actually to an exclusive event before the high-end, during the high-end Munich of 2022 of last year. I did a video about it, unfortunately. I recorded with the handy and I don't know, I didn't want to post it because the quality is okay, but let's say that I will let it here in this video for you because there are interesting things. Mr. Lichtenegger is speaking about the brand, and there was also the presentations of the Triangle anniversary editions. Such a beautiful speaker. Wow, I really enjoyed this setup powered by a complete Musical Fidelity Nu-Vista setup. Really interesting from this speaker is the soundstage with DSP, dynamic pulse system, 2 tweeter in additions on the rear that allow the speaker to radiate energy to the front and rear of transmitting point, like a symphony orchestra would. Then we found the SVA membrane diaphragm, characterized by a sandwich structures and a beautiful solid wood cabinet. Specs are also really interesting with a frequency range of 33 Hz, 30 kHz, 8 ohm nominal impedance, and I really enjoyed the setup. Very hard to give a review, pretty impossible. It was just we play some songs, they play some songs, and one of these was a beautiful record that I actually purchased after that. It is Bill Anderson's Live at the Times. It is coming from the original long-playing album Live at the Times, Discovery Records DS779. It's a 12-inch singles with 2 sides, one at 33 RPM and one at 45, where you can find inside the tracks and in the clowns. Beautiful. I really suggest to take a look of it if you found one. I was able to find one, great quality, was in mint conditions, so I don't know if on Discogs there are still some of them, but if you find one, I really recommend to take it because it's really beautiful. In my opinion, the Triangle Quatuor can really compete with speakers like the Focal Sopra number 2 or Bauer Wilkins 844 without any problem. And if you have any experience about it, please just let me know. Okay, I don't want to speak too much. Enjoy these exclusive events, and from my audios everything. As always, like button, subscribe to the channels to support my work, and see you soon.
I hope you enjoyed the day today in the MOC. We decided this year to stay not at the MOC because Musical Fidelity and Triangle, both companies, show this year a new level of products. Triangle with the MAGELLAN 40th series for the 40th anniversary. Musical Fidelity 40th year, the new Nu-Vista line. So both companies show us the highest line, best products. So the Bayerischer Hof in Munich called the best hotel, one of the best in Germany, the best in Bavaria. And we are not sure if this is the best hotel, but we know that these are the best products. So we choose this hotel for this show. And I'm happy that
for the
you...
best distributors.
Sorry?
For the best distributors.
For the best distributor. I thought you tell. Abroad, it is not later. You need to tell this. So we don't have a plan. It's only from heart and from stomach. So I'm really happy to have these products, and really I enjoy to work with Musical Fidelity. In the past with Antony, I loved him, and I love him. Also Heinz, I love him. Don't tell it, Josephina. And since Hugo is for the company Triangle, we make good business with the products, new products, good products. Sebastian is a great designer of loudspeakers. And Hugo give him the space to give the good ideas to the products. So I'm happy to have both brands. I know not each of you have both brands. You're not lucky like me. But catch for the products. And now I give to Hugo, the CEO of Triangle, and I hope you enjoy the evening. And yes, first Hugo, then Heinz, and then we listen a little bit music. Thank you.
Thank you for all of you being here. What we are impressed is like seeing you in person. After 3 years, it's like, wow, it's so much emotion to see you face to face, talk about HIFI, looking about HIFI product. And this year is kind of a special year for both Musical Fidelity and Triangle, because we don't release like a standard product, an entry-level product. We release high-end, and for sure high-end for us is like always a special excitement, because it's our quest. We're always looking for the best sound, for the best immersion into music, and we dig into what we believe will be the best drivers, the best amplifiers, the best cable. Sometimes we're wrong, but we don't care. We keep going on until we find it. And this is what we have to present tonight, and we hope we're going to like it. On our side, regarding the speaker, we are a French loudspeaker manufacturer, and during those 2 years, which have been crazy and good for our business, we had the opportunity to bring back new production in France, and it's a great pride for all our Triangle team that we've been increasing our made in France production. We've been increasing also our standard of quality and wondering how we can provide you the best Magellan we never made before. And that's why we try to do the Magellan's 40th anniversary edition. Magellan is something a bit special for us. It's kind of a journey. This started in 2002 with Renaud de Verniette, the founder of this company that Heinz and Jürgen know, mostly Heinz, which has been the first distributor of Triangle, and we thank him a lot for that. And we've been trying to show to the world what we can do in terms of driver, in terms of our idea of building like a special unloaded tweeter, which is now the trademark of Triangle. And we try to keep the legacy. First of all, we try to keep the shape, because we've been deciding that this nice, elegant it's a timeless design, and we wanted to keep it. But we changed so much things inside to provide you a better speaker. First of all, we changed the tweeter. Inside this tweeter home, there is a tiny dome. This dome took us so much work. We changed from an alloy of titanium to magnesium. It's almost chemistry, but the linear response for high frequency between 3000 to 20,000 hertz is so much better now. We also improved so much tiny details, such as crossover. We put MKT capacitors to one of the best producer in Europe called SCR. You might not know this company, but I'm sure you know its customer. SCR is a French official supplier of Mundorf. This is how the supply is, so for sure we prefer to work with a French company for that. So a lot of improvement in terms of crossover, in terms of tweeter, and also tons of tiny engineering work that you don't see at naked eyes, but improving the speaker. The mid-range changed slightly its cone shape, changed slightly its dust cap to improve the frequency response to link the mid-range and the tweeter, meaning that we can put a fourth order filter to join those two speakers and make something more natural. It's a ton of tiny details that make this speaker better than before, and something that we are kind of proud about it. It's a limited edition. It celebrates the 40 years of the brand, the 20 years of the Magellan speakers. 300 pairs in total will be sold worldwide. So hurry up, first of all. And I have nothing to say. Our team is here. We've got plenty of more things to tell, but I don't want to be boring. So enjoy, first of all, Mr. Lichtenegger's speech, and then enjoy the listening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Hugo, for this nice introduction. Yeah. I'm very pleased and very happy. Yeah. So hello to everybody. Yeah. So it's really a big pleasure to see you all here. Very, very excited for hopefully a good presentation of especially music, but also for seeing our products. So thank you for your attention. I also want to thank you, Hugo, for making this happening, because it's not so easy to get this hotel. Yeah, it's really, as he said, very special. Yeah, but these products are also very special and demand the attention. And so I'm happy to introduce my new flagship products together with my beloved speaker brand, which everybody knows. I'm using triangle speakers since a long time, also in my private system, Musicality, and that's also all about musical fidelity, because to make a product sound good means you need a lot of emotion, you need a lot of working on the sound and not only on the technical datas. That's very important, and therefore I was so happy to be actually the second distributor of Musical Fidelity. So this was for me a very, very important step. And then later on I had the possibility to take over the company, and I want to also introduce you Mr. Michaelson, who is very shy. So he was a big teacher and master for me, to learn me to understand better hi-fi also in musical terms, because actually he's a musician and sees the world of hi-fi a little bit different, I mean from the musical side. Yeah? And the Nu-Vista, what we see here now, yeah, is a little bit also the, let's say, the consequent realization of that what Antony was always having in his mind and having as a concept. And I have been really lucky that as I bought this company, so many of these basic designs have been already done. And what I'm doing now is basically only to bring it to the real world. Yeah? And the maximum, what was already basically theoretically designed, was the Nu-Vista Concept. And here I present it now first time in a version and in a level of production and a level of execution which actually in amplifier design were basically never executed in this level. So Antony was presenting with the Nu-Vista 800 already some years ago an integrated amplifier which sets a standard in the industry. What is special on this Nu-Vista integrated amplifier? It was getting famous that it was one of the first amplifiers in the world which had huge power but still a musical sound. And I mean musical, I mean warm, but warm not in the sense of dull, warm in the sense of finesse. Yeah? And this is very rare because probably you know when you are a little bit in this industry, you know that you find a lot of nice amplifiers which are low power. But when you have an amplifier which is high power and a lot of finesse, it's very rare. Yeah, and that's the specialty was what Antony was already done with the 800. On top, there are the Nu-Vista tubes. And we always were dreaming about the perfect tube. And Antony was finding this tube once. It's a military tube, and it's extremely rare, and it's just close to be perfect tube because it's totally linear and it's very durable, which means it has a lifetime of 100,000, about 50 to 100,000 hours. So this is really something extraordinary. It's developed by the military industry, and we are the only company who found enough stock of this tube to realize it in these amplifiers. And that these amplifiers now are possible was only because we found another stock of these tubes. And yes, for sure, they are also in that case limited because we don't know how many we can really produce, or how many we know how many we can produce now, but we don't know how many tubes we get more. Yeah? So it's a little bit limited. I don't want to call it limited because probably we get some more, but it's not for sure. So what is very special on these products? Yeah, what is the concept? Yeah, and I had also studied a lot the history of musical fidelity, and I studied a lot that what Antony Michaelson said and what he basically taught me as the rules of making correct amplification. And there are very interesting thoughts. Yeah. So one of these thoughts, one of the basic thoughts was that magnetism caused by the big transformers, is very bad for the sound. So the first thing you have to do, is just getting out of the box, and therefore we have these separate power supplies. And this is not only valid for the power amplifier, this is valid also for the preamplifier, and here you have the separate power supply. For sure, this is really high-end, this is really consequent, because it's a lot of mass what you have to move here, and the transformers, even on the preamplifier, are so big, but it's a perfect power supply, because we know that AC today is very critical. You have a lot of noise there, a lot of distortion, and you can only make a perfect product when you have also a perfect AC around. Yeah? So the second thing, what Antony told me, an amplifier has to be fully balanced. Yeah? So as we know in the professional industry, there is only balanced products around. Yeah? This has a reason, because only with real balanced circuitries you can get a minimum of noise and a maximum of dynamic. Yeah? And so all these new products, are fully balanced. Yeah? Then for sure they are double mono. Yeah? That means they are, so fully balanced means basically also you have to have two amplifiers in one. Yeah? So this is also the reason why on a preamplifier we need such a big case to have all the electronic inside. And then for sure everything is double mono. Yeah? So we have really a perfect left and right channel separation, give you an enormous sound space. And then what is also very important to understand, Nu-Vista has definitely no digital input and no Bluetooth or no stream or whatever so built in, because RF in a proper amplifier radio frequencies, high frequencies, has nothing to do. This is one of the basic principles, and there I have also to mention, I have here one gentleman who is responsible for the design for Musical Fidelity since close to 20 years. This is Simon Query. Simon? So he's responsible to set over all the ideas of Antony, and he's following up these ideas very consequently. So we have our separate streamer, but the streamer has nothing to do in a high-end amplifier. And I'm really wondering what the industry is going. The industry is going to digital amplifier, and the industry is going to integrate everything in one box, yeah? And that's not working in high-end, yeah? Because, and also commercially it's stupid, because when somebody is buying a Musical Fidelity product, yeah, I can shake him in hand and say, you bought now a product, yeah, you have 30 years and more, and you will be happy in 30 years, yeah. If I have the streamers and everything inside, yeah, I have to tell him, I'm sorry, in 5 years you have to buy a new one because the app and whatever is not working anymore, I'm sorry, yeah. So I can't do this because I'm selling to friends, and therefore I would never put high tech in a product, yeah. I degrade the sound, and I'm making a fade-out product of it, yeah. And so that's the design principle of the Nu-Vista line. And when you're going really crazy, yeah, then you're going for this beast, yeah, because then consequently, when you're thinking then in superlative, yeah, then you need for the left channel and the right channel a monoblock, yeah, and consequently each monoblock has then a power supply. So that means to drive stereo, you need 4 pieces of this, yeah. So this is really super high-end, yeah. And this thing then makes close to 1000 watt 8 ohm, yeah, and that drives the most critical speaker. Why we need 1000 watt? Why Musical Fidelity has a class or had a class A amplifier? It's very simple, because the principle of amplification, the principle of power, yeah, people forgot, yeah, how things are working, because somehow in this hi-fi world we're talking about a lot of things, but we forgot basics. And one of the basics is, yeah, that when you have a monitor speaker with a high efficiency, and you are 1 meter or 1.5 meter apart, yeah, 20 watts class A, wonderful, fantastic in sound, super well. But when you have speakers like this, or even bigger ones, yeah, with maybe a little bit less sensitivity as triangle, yeah, and you're sitting here in such a big room, and you're listening to an opera, or let's say, don't be sophisticated, let's say Metallica, yeah, then you need 120, 130 dBs, yeah, and then you need 1000 watts. No, you need 2000 watts for dynamic, yeah, yeah, and that's the reason why these amplifiers are existing. So, yeah, that's about the principle, about these products. We show here also several other products. Our philosophy, what we are going in the next years, is that we're thinking everything what is amplification, everything what is proper amplification is Musical Fidelity. Because we will be the only one who will really try to make the basic of the really truth of amplifiers. That means transistor amplifiers, yeah, in any power range. And therefore we decided also to make multi-channel amplifiers, because in multi-channel, yeah, we forgot everything. Everything is about the processor, everything is about the feature, but the sound is done by the amplifier. Yeah? So therefore, now also Musical Fidelity technology is accessible by our amplifiers. So that means we have a 5, 7, and 11 channel amplifier. And for people who understand this, that this is just working so much better when you have really huge power supplies. We have also a line of power supplies which you can use then for the smaller Musical Fidelity product to get a similar effect of cleanness and power in the music signal. So I hope I have given you a little bit an overview about what's the brand in the future and what's the brand now and what you see here. And yeah.
The turntables,
Oh yes, the turntables. Anybody thought that Mr. Lichtenegger is not making for Musical Fidelity a turntable? No, again, This turntable was not designed by me. This turntable from the principle was designed by Antony Michaelson, and I was making this turntable, which was available in very few pieces as an M1 many years ago. It's called now the M8X turntable, yeah. And yes, this will be also available under the Musical Fidelity brand. Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so thank you very much, and thank you for the question.